Welcome to the American Valor Podcast. Today, we are thrilled to welcome Terry Spain to the show. Terry is a retired Navy chief, an author, public speaker, facilitator, sports commentator, the CEO of the Sports First Media, and owner of Terry Spain Consulting. Terry, brother, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about you.
Enrique, thank you so much for having me, man. I get excited every time I'm able to converse with you and get on your show because you're doing some amazing things. And like you mentioned before, my name is Terry Spain. I'm originally from South Carolina, the great state of South Carolina. But I'm a military brat, so I actually grew up in Italy. I grew up in Naples, Italy, and so that kind of prepared me for all the things that I've been doing and the ways I've been giving back. I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I also love to just give back to the community because the community is what shaped me, and I'm excited about what's ahead for this United States.
Yes, absolutely. And folks, as you can tell by the shirt I'm wearing, normally I'm wearing a foundation shirt, but this month we are celebrating the CPO birthday, 132 years of active service. And Terry and I happen to be people that have been selected out of so many in the Navy to be chief petty officers and serve in that capacity. But folks, at the Bob Feller Active Valor Foundation, we strive to educate, support, and recognize by instilling the timeless values of service, sacrifice, legacy, and citizenship. And Terry, based on the pillars mentioned, I would like to start today's conversation with, first of all, happy birthday, brother. And as we're covering those pillars, let's start with service. As a chief petty officer, service goes beyond the uniform. And we both know that because we continue to serve. How did your role shape your understanding of leadership and commitment to others, both during your time in the Navy and the years since?
And that's a great question. And happy birthday to you as well, and all the other fellow Chief Petty Officers. What an honor it is, man, to be selected for a rank such as Chief Petty Officer. But as a leader, I didn't do it by myself. I actually had people that I was able to mimic and learn from, such as yourself. I can remember when I first met you, I would always look at how you carried yourself, right? And you was always someone who had a lot of self-respect for themselves. And so I looked at that and I kind of patted myself after people such as yourself. But to be honest with you, you asked the question about leadership, and I like to take that root word, the first four words, which is lead. And I wrote a book called Just Lead, as you can attest to, and that lead stands for let everything around develop. That's what I came up with. And so one of the things that I've done as a leader, it's easy to say, yeah, I've done this, I did this, but you've never, gave back to the community. So the actual service that I've given back to not only to the United States and the United States Navy, but to the community has gone a long way because I've actually had an opportunity to see people who I've led flourish. And that's probably one of the most rewarding things that I've seen and have done was to see the people who I've took the time to lead and help out, and they've done those same things and reciprocated that to their sailors as well, and to the community.
And I've seen you not only in action in the Navy, right? We served together in Gulfport, Mississippi, but I've also seen you continue that service outside with different organizations and with what you're doing now. So thank you for continuing a life of service. And I believe that most of us that do depart in one way or another from the military, from the chief petty officer ranks, continue to do that as we have witnessed others do. Now, sacrifice, we both know it in several different ways, but
Yeah.
chiefs often shoulder significant responsibilities that require personal and professional sacrifice. Can
Mm-hmm.
you share a moment that tested your resilience and what lessons you carried forward from that experience?
Yeah, those there've been quite a bit. You know, obviously when you've been in the Navy for over 20 plus years, you get an opportunity to test yourself and test your resilience. But for me, I think it was every time that I actually had to got deployed and missing birthdays and missing celebrations that my family and I would normally celebrate. Seeing that and having and sacrificing that for the country, and in some aspects you had to sacrifice family time, but the end reward was seeing that how appreciative they were of you giving back your time. So for me, I think one of the things that I've um, that I would say for sacrifice is just sacrificing the time for your family. But I can remember one time. I want to share a quick story. I was on board the USS Blue Ridge. I was part of Seventh Fleet staff, and the ship got underway on my birthday. And I never forget it. I was standing on the flight deck, and I was like, "Wow, I can't even celebrate my birthday. I'm sitting out to sea and I'm getting out underway and I'm sitting here, man, like all these things that I'm doing and I can't really appreciate my birthday. And so everyone got wind of it was my birthday, and my office threw me a big birthday party. So it just goes to show you, like we talk about sacrifice, but it's about those folks that are underway are sacrificing with you. They're sacrificing something. The people that work for you, they're sacrificing something as well. So as a leader and as I became a leader, I had to realize that I'm not the only one sacrificing something. It's my entire office or the entire people that I'm leading. So just to see that they were appreciative of me and my sacrifices, I in tune did the same exact thing. So that became a running thing. So we were underway for somebody's birthday that was in my office. We would celebrate like it's 1999 all over again.
And I remember those days well, and many times that we chose to celebrate versus, focus on the fact that we're missing out. And out there, as you was mentioning, your story, I was envisioning you on the flight deck, right? And sacrifice is kind of peculiar when for service members because we kind of accept that as one of the things that we must do, right?
Right.
And so we seldom do we see it as that. How many people get to spend their birthday on a flight deck of a
you,
communication platform,
you,
right?
my chief at the time said that same exact thing. I was like, it's not the same. It's not the same. But I do understand though.
But and it's funny because it's just perspective, right? And although no one can take away from the fact that hey, that personal day for your family was missed,
Mhm.
right? And so
Mhm.
that's where the sacrifice really is. The family don't get to spend time together like they normally would. Now, part of your service, both in active duty and now out, it's leading to legacy. And I'll tell you, brother, you're working a good show on there to to create a legacy that will last. But the Chiefs mess is known for passing down traditions and
Right.
wisdom. How have you contributed to building a lasting legacy, and what advice would you offer to the next generations of Navy Chiefs?
Yeah, that you know what, that's definitely a powerful question that you ask. And for me, that's legacy, believe it or not, is one of my favorite words. And I was fortunate enough to have a father who served in the Marine Corps and passed down a legacy to me. So something that I had to uphold and something I could look forward to. And so what one of the things that I did as a legacy is I I I helped create some policies for the Navy and I created some videos for the Navy. And I never forget about 3 years ago, I had a couple of sailors who um, I've either trained or mentored, and they were at a schoolhouse, and my video popped up. And they were like, "Oh, I know this guy. I know him. I've been knowing him for a long time." So I get a phone call from about 12 people at the same time. It was all on one phone call, and they were like, "Hey, we see you on the video. We here in the school, and we see you in the video. The video that you made, was real powerful video. That's legacy. That's something that you're leaving behind so that the Navy and the sailors can have something to go by, And I just oftentimes think about just the people that came before me. I had a chief petty officer that used to always make me look up stuff in the CISIC file. I don't know if you're familiar with the CISIC file. When I used to always want to get a question, he said, "Hey, look it up," and I never understood why he would make me look it up, and he can just give me the answer, right? And but I did not know at the time that he was sharpening me. He was preparing me to do things that I'm doing now, that I can create that legacy. And those folks who work for me or work with me, I'm able to show them how to be a better sailor. And I've gotten countless of calls, and that's probably one of the most rewarding things that I've gotten was calls from sailors who said, "Hey, Chief, I appreciate you for being tough on me. I appreciate you for challenging me. Because you did this, I was able to receive my master's degree. Or because you made me go to college, I was able to receive my doctorate." And so those are the things that you leave behind, and the legacy that you leave behind that people can always remember you for. And I enjoy it. I absolutely get a blast anytime I get a call from someone that says that are still active duty now and say, "Hey, Chief, I remember when you told me this 5, 10 years ago." And they used to have to sometimes refresh my memory. I'm like, "Hey, man, I got a lot of stuff going on," but they never forgot what I taught them or what was taught to me. And it's a trickle down effect, and that's how we were able to create those legacies and create those priceless moments in the Navy. And I think for me, I think those are the most important things. And so when you talk about legacy, which is one of my favorite words, I get a kick out of, just being able to help someone succeed, live out
Very,
their purpose.
yeah, very powerful. And you mentioned SSIC, which folks it comes from the correspondence manual of the Navy. And talk
Exactly.
about legacy. There is a current company out here in, in Central Florida whose policies are all numbered by the SSIC.
The standard subject identification code.
Everything they have is the Navy SSIC. So it
That's
continues, right?
legacy. Yeah.
So as we celebrate this month, the Navy Chief birthday, both of our services started because we were citizens, right?
Right.
We were citizens and we were afforded an opportunity to join one of the armed forces. We
Hmm.
both chose Navy, and albeit I chose Navy by proxy of the Air Force didn't want me, but that's all right. But it started in citizenship, and
Right.
after
Right.
retiring from the Navy, many chiefs continue to serve their communities in impactful ways. You're one of those chiefs. How
Hmm.
has your sense of duty influenced your contributions as a civilian, and what does citizenship mean to you now?
So, citizenship to me now is just being a productive person in your community, right? And I don't wait for things to happen. I make things happen. And one of the things that I'm prideful for is um, I had an opportunity to do the first ever Kenyan's Young Men Empowerment Summit in Eldoret, Kenya. I had 5 other brothers that came with me from the community, right? When you talk about citizens. And I asked them would they want to embark on a journey with me that could be so powerful that they had their legacy that they created. So you see how all this is tying in. So we went over to Kenya and we had over 300 young men and women that came out to this to create a positive impact, not only to themselves, but for Kenya. And to create to be a citizen doesn't necessarily mean for the United States. It's an impact globally, and that's what I wanted to do. This was something that was directed to me by God to do, and I done it, and it did exceptionally well. But when you talk about the citizenship, I remember growing up as a kid, used to get those citizenship awards as kids. You know, that was something that you kind of pride yourself on. And so being a great citizen, being a productive citizen, and taking some of those things that I've learned from being a Navy chief and transcending them over to the civilian world, I think for us being retired Navy chiefs, um, I think we had it a little bit easier because we were able to be a leader globally than pinpointed to a community or just wherever we're living at the time. So for me, being able to give back, being able to make an impact, and being able to affect the youth and how, because some of these youth definitely need the guidance, and then being able to impact them will only help this community and help everyone become better citizens. I always tell people this: be a fragrance and not an odor. And the reason why I say that is because if you are a fragrance, everybody gonna want to be around you, right? But if you're an odor and you smell, no one wants to be around you anymore because you have that stink, you have that odor on you. So I always tell young people to be a fragrance and not an odor.
And that's powerful because they're both scents, right?
Yeah.
You just gotta be the right sense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And thank you for all that you're doing post service. I am one that gets to witness it, being so close and having such a brotherhood and friendship for so long. And we also collaborate on different things
Oh
together.
yeah.
So I get to see that. But I wanted to ask you, where can our audience learn more about you and how can they support you?
Yeah, so there are definitely a few ways. I have my website, which is terryspainconsulting.com. You can go on there and see some of the things. You can also reach out to me, but I'm also on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. My Instagram is at Terry Spain 21. LinkedIn is under Terry Spain, and Facebook is under Terry Spain as well. So these are some of the ways that you can contact me, and I'll definitely respond back because it's all about helping out each other. And you can see some of the work that I've been doing, and maybe we can collaborate on something in the future. So if you're seeing this and you want to collaborate on something, let's make it happen.
Absolutely. Now, folks, thank you for joining us on this special month long celebration of the CPO birthday. If they give me 2 months or three, I'll continue to celebrate. As long as we live, we will be celebrating the CPO. For more information on the foundation, please visit us at our website, actofvaloraward.org. And on behalf of the Bow Act of Valor Foundation, thank you all for joining us on this episode.